this guy. He says, "She did what in his bed?" Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Beefer, and today we have another episode of the Slow News Day. In today's episode, we'll discuss the first looks of the new Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers. We'll also discuss how Gemini is being sued by the CFTC. And lastly, we'll discuss responses to the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial and verdict. If you guys go on to enjoy today's video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. All my links are in the description. With that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Happy watching. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally back with another episode of the Slow News Day, like I said in the intro. So with our first story of today, the first gameplay snippet of Sonic Frontiers has been released, and man, to say it is underwhelming is an understatement. It was about this past Tuesday on the 31st. The official Sonic Twitter page, and while we're looking at the Twitter page, you should also follow me on Twitter. I'm not on there too often, but I plan on being more active on there, so you can follow me at It's Beefer. With that being said, it was announced on the official Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter page that a 7-minute snippet of gameplay is going to be released on IGN's official YouTube channel. Thus far, the video has managed to amass about 1.7 million views as the time of the making of this video. By the time it's released, it'll probably be around the 2 million mark potentially. But if you look at that like to dislike ratio, it is scary. I actually went ahead and watched the video, and man, it was pretty bad. I think it's important to understand that the game is nowhere near finished. I don't know if you consider this a pre-alpha, but it's very, very bare bones. The game is scheduled to be released in Q4 of this year, so there is still a bit of time for development. My first impressions of the game was it actually looked like an Unreal Engine 5 starter project. There was not much to it. I'm sure you're seeing clips of it right now, but despite it being an open world Sonic game, which I think is a cool concept, the world was completely dead. Like, Death Stranding seemed to have more life to the game than this, and it's pretty bleak, I'll say. For Sega, I think it's important to understand that if you're going to go ahead and make an open world Sonic game, it's important to make the world look like Sonic. Like, with the landscape that we have so far, it's way too realistic for a character like Sonic that is very cartoony, and I feel like you run into a similar issue that you ran into with Sonic 06, where you had all these realistic elements. You had these humans that looked like actual humans, and then you have this out of place cartoonish hedgehog, and it doesn't really match. It's also important to point out, it's not like Sega can't do this, or they haven't even done it before. They actually had, I don't know how long ago, but they had a collaboration with Roblox where there were actual 3D, I don't know if it's like actual renderings, but there were 3D versions of, like, what is the field zone or whatever, all those different Sonic levels. They were actually built out, and you could actually play a Sonic, and it looked really good. In my opinion, I really wouldn't be upset if the game was delayed. So right now, like I previously said, it's scheduled to be released around Q4 of this year, but if you pushed it all the way back to Q2 of next year, I honestly think that's only for the better. There's not like a huge need for a Sonic game right now. I don't think anybody's like, oh my god, I really need a Sonic game to play. But if you actually are one of those few people that are going through like some form of withdrawal because you don't have a Sonic game in your life, I do suggest, this is actually a game I played when I was a kid. It's called Sonic Riders. It's actually a pretty old title. It's from the like PS2, Xbox 360 era, but it's sort of like a surfing race game with Sonic characters. It's actually really fun. So it's not like a traditional Sonic game, but it's still fun. Ultimately, time will tell as to how far this game goes, and I'm pulling for it. You know, I want a successful Sonic game. I haven't played Sonic in years, but if the game looks good, I might have to check it out. Alright, so with our next story, we're going to take a little bit of a step back from the world of gaming and go into the world of crypto. Now, full disclosure, I don't know a lot about crypto. I know a little bit. I watch people like CoffeeZilla or Spencer Cornelia or Muda, where they talk about crypto every now and again, but outside of that, I don't really have any technical knowledge about crypto, but that's not required for this story. So it was actually reported by Verge that the Winklevoss brothers who are founders of the Gemini Trust Company, are actually being sued by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, also known as the CFTC. Now, the CFTC is an independent agency in the US, and their entire, I guess, objective or purpose is to regulate futures, swaps, and options within derivative markets. So a derivative market is like the stock market, crypto, stuff like that. Now, the suit actually stems from an alleged incident that occurred way back in 2017, when times were much better than they are now, where it was believed Gemini misrepresented details within their futures contracts. The CFTC is actually claiming that there have been several instances of Gemini manipulating their behavior of their futures contracts, and these future contracts are connected to Bitcoin. So they're saying that the manipulation of these contracts is being considered as manipulation of the price of Bitcoin in a way. Now, some of the alleged manipulation includes the issuing of unsecured loans and the allowance of trades prior to the completion of transactions. There's actually a direct quote from the complaint, which I think I can link down in the description. If not, I'll just link the whole story and you guys can find it right there. But the quote reads as follows: "Credits and advances could misleadingly skew the apparent volume, liquidity, or number of participants trading on the Gemini exchange and in the Gemini Bitcoin auction." So essentially, it's sort of similar, or this is my interpretation at least, it's similar to how there's all these crypto pump and dumps where the value of a coin is being manipulated or it's being propped up to be something better than what it actually is. Now, is Gemini actually setting up a sort of rug pull situation? I have no clue. I could be completely wrong and completely misinterpreting what I'm reading, but this, in my head, just seems to be what could potentially occur if the CFTC didn't get involved. But it's a developing story. It's only a suit. It hasn't gone to trial or court or whatever, so it's still developing, and I will be sure to stay on top of it. Alright, as most of you guys have heard, the Johnny Depp trial and the Amber Heard trial has reached a verdict, and it was in favor of Johnny Depp, and a lot of celebrities chose to chime in as to what they thought about the verdict. So I'm going to read a lot of direct quotes from these celebrities. Some of these quotes are actually not in response to the verdict, but rather just the trial in general. So with the first quote, we actually have one from Amber Heard herself. So she says, "The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken, and the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband." She also went on to say, "I am even more disappointed with what the verdict means for other bed poopers." Well, she didn't actually say bed poopers, but yeah, so that's what Amber Heard had to say. Funny enough, Amber Heard's ex-boyfriend, Elon Musk, had this to say: "I hope they both move on at their best. They are each incredible." So it's great to hear that Elon Musk is trying to keep that door open just in case he needs a late night booty call from Miss Amber Heard. Gina Carano even chimed in and said, "Johnny Depp, hashtag truth wins." All right, with the next quote, it actually comes from Sharon Osbourne, and for those of you that don't know, Sharon Osbourne is the wife of legendary rock star Ozzy Osbourne, who's in the band Black Sabbath. Makes pretty good music, by the way. But with that being said, she says, "Wow, it wasn't what I was expecting. I mean, I wanted Johnny to win, but I didn't expect him to," which is a sentiment that I've heard actually quite repeatedly. All right, and now we go with Amy Schumer, the beloved Amy Schumer. She says, "Any woman who chooses to behave like a full human being should be warned that armies of the status quo will treat her as something of a dirty joke." Now, I don't know what she means by behave like a full human, but I do not know what is full human about pooping on somebody's bed. It's not very human, to say the least. All right, slap victim Chris Rock actually chimed in the midst of the trial. It says, believe all women except Amber Heard." And he also goes on to say, "Once you poop in someone's bed, you're just guilty of everything." So that is Chris Rock being Chris Rock. We move on, and we actually have Kathy Griffin actually chiming in, and she says something quite interesting, and I'd be curious to see what she means about this quote. She says, "This will eventually go in Amber Heard's favor. It'll take a while, but it will. Now, I don't know, the article didn't have any context as to when Kathy said this. I'm not sure if she said this in response to the verdict or during the trial. Now, if she said this for the verdict, I am very curious on how Amber Heard having to pay $15 million will somehow work in her favor, but that remains to be seen. And lastly, we have probably the most unexpected respondent to the entire trial. We have Larry the Cable Guy. Yeah, that Larry the Cable Guy. The guy who voiced this guy. He says, "She did what in his bed?" No, he didn't actually say that. He actually said, "I'm not saying Amber Heard seems like she's acting on the witness stand, but after her last testimony, I swear I think I heard her say, her lawyer say, cut," which sort of feeds into the idea that Amber Heard was doing a poor acting job up there on the stand. So, but that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Slow News Day. I'm actually enjoying doing this. I actually have a few stories lined up for episode 3, so I'll continue to do it, and hopefully you guys continue to enjoy it. So with all that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.